Hi, this is Biggie here. This is Season 1 Diablo 4. How's it been so far? Pretty alright. I decided to start with a Druid instead of any other class, mainly because Druid has probably the best late game potential, and also because considering I've already played Rogue and Barbarian. I don't think I want to play them again. Considering that if you look at the patch, there hasn't been much fundamental change for all the classes. You're basically playing the same thing as pre-seasons. The difference is you've got weaker characters because of all the nerfs to a lot of things, right? So I definitely didn't want to play something I already played, and therefore I started the Druid instead. Alright, so I'm currently 57. I have 3 more levels. I'm going to start doing World Tier 4 capstone, or World Tier 3 capstone, sorry, and then go into World Tier 4. A lot of people might have difficulty figuring out how to go past World Tier 3, so I'm just going to briefly talk about my strategy to do so. First things first, World Tier 2 to World Tier 3 capstone dungeon is pretty easy. It just requires you to take some time to figure out a build that you like. In this case, I went for a landslide build, so I'm going landslide and poison creeper. This is really good because it gives you a huge it does really good damage on anything that can be anything that can be immobilized, I guess. So not really the bosses, but for stuff like elites, you generally do pretty fine. And to basically do World Tier 2 into World Tier 3, the capstone is pretty easy. It just takes time. And then one of the first things, I think most people where they get stuck is they get stuck in World Tier 3. So most of the time when you enter World Tier 3, you're just basically like level 42 to 45 on average, and you're just pretty weak. Most people will then struggle getting their first sacred gear. So if you ask me, you don't really need sacred armor pieces. They don't really matter at all. What you're looking for is aspects. You need the right aspects, and you just want legendaries basically to get the right aspects. And then for the weapons, all your weapons, you definitely want them to have sacred, right? Because that's where the huge spike of your damage goes to. Your attack power basically doubles or nearly triples after you get good sacred weapons. So first things first, I would suggest going to PvP areas. Reason being is if you go to a PvP area like this, generally they have very high drop rates for sacred items, especially when you're killing elites. It's fine if you zerg them a little. The other thing as well is if you're blood marked, you can open blood marked chests. This area here, Alzuda, is pretty easy to get blood marked chests. You probably open like 4 of them as you run around in a circle. You can just reset and do that again. And generally nobody's gonna go here, so you'll be fine. Like, I don't think, even if you get killed by another player, it really doesn't matter. All you drop is red dust. Who cares, right? So yeah, that's generally what you want to do. Farm the blood mark chests, farm elites until you get decent sacred weapons. Once you get decent sacred weapons, the things you want to start looking forward to are Helltides. So Helltides do spawn on World Tier 3. That's where you're going to get a lot of your, well, uniques if you need them. Especially for Druid, uniques are very important. I would say that I've gotten about 2 different uniques from Helltides, 2 or 3, and I've got the rest of them actually from Nightmare dungeons. So you just want to do Helltide dungeons. You want to get your Renown up. I haven't maxed it out, definitely, but Renown's definitely a huge part of it. You want to spend time doing Renown, so that means doing dungeons, getting strongholds, etc. And eventually you hit around 50 or so, and that's where you start doing Nightmare dungeons. So if you've gotten pretty decent gear, so you've gotten the right legendary aspects, you've gotten a decent sacred weapon, doing Nightmare dungeons is actually a piece of cake, to be honest. You'll be able to go from 50 to 60 pretty easily, and then when you hit 60, then you start doing the World Tier 4 dungeons. Yeah, I'm gonna briefly talk about the build I'm running right now. Let's see. Let's do this one. Oh yeah, Also, if possible, try as much as you can to synchronize. Was it 3 of the Din? Is it called? Is this called 3 of the Din? Oh, 3 of Whispers. Sorry, you wanna also get 3 of Whispers completion, and the reason being is you get those chests. You don't have to open them. You do have to open one to just get your first nightmare sigil, but I would suggest actually keeping them in your stash. You probably can open them later, in World Tier 4, and get better items. So that's what I'm kind of hoping for, like doing that later. I'm not sure if it works. I'm just willing to try it out. But yeah, anyway. I'm gonna do this WT dungeon and then I'll briefly talk about the build. As you can tell, it hits pretty hard. This is a 56 nightmare dungeon. I believe it's down here. Personally, I don't really think this patch is that fun to play, unless you're playing a completely new... What was that sound? Unless you're playing like a completely new class, you're just gonna be really bored, because, to be frank, it's pretty much pre-season. You're playing the same thing. The malignant hearts don't really do much, I feel. Yeah, and not only do the malignant hearts not do so much, they don't really do anything. Like, they don't really fundamentally change your gameplay. New aspects do switch things up a little, but I think generally, like, if your class was like strong pre-seasons, it would continue to be strong. And if your class was like shit pre-seasons, it continues to be shit, right? So, like, Barb and Sorcerer are in a really shitty place right now. Necro still is okay, but you only just play like Bone Spear or something, or some gimmicky blood skill build. But generally, like, I think, like, if you want to play seasons and you're not waiting for buffs, Rogue is like your best bet. If you just want like easy leveling, but if you want like really late game stuff, you're gonna go Druid for sure, because Druid just so good. There's so much synergies with Druid, it makes it so strong. But Druid leveling is a bit of a pain. You kind of need a few things to get things started. So a lot of the early levels is pretty much personally just grinding EXP, just to push to World Tier 3. And you only really start getting strong in World Tier 3 because that's when you can start like farming the uniques you need. I think Druid Strip power is kind of gated behind uniques. Yeah. Right now the Druid just kind of feels slow as well because I don't really have a lot of movement speed stuff, but eventually I'll get there. Oh boy, shouldn't have stood at that. Okay. Guess now would be a good time to talk about the build, so you have a much better understanding of it. Hold up, my nightlight went on. Let me just change the color. Okay. Alright, so this is a Landslide Druid. You're basically just doing landslides, mainly because landslides have auto crit on them. If you have enough, what do you call it, terror mode. If you have enough terror mode, you have like guaranteed crits. And not only do you have guaranteed crits, your crits do like insane crit damage. So you're getting a lot of crit damage multipliers from gear. I'll show you later. You're alternating between Storm Strike and Landslide. And to be honest, you're not that tanky until you get Vasily's Prayer, because that gives you access to Weirbear skills whenever you do Landslide. And also when you eventually get a Insatiable Fury, which is to be honest, and that's just nice because it gives you extra like damage on your Landslide. So my Landslide's right now at like level 13, so it does quite a bit of damage. You're using Petrify, Poison Creeper, Ravens, and Wolves. So the reason why I'm using Ravens and Wolves is because you're basically cycling through companion skills. You're primarily using Poison Creeper. These other two are just nice to have around, but they're not like it's really essential. So I'm gonna go through the boons as well. So in this case, you're getting reduced damage from elites. You're getting 30% crit strike damage. This is just to give you more damage for your landslides. You're getting Pack Leader. Lucky Hit critical strikes have a 20% chance to reset the cooldowns of your companion skills. So you reset all of these whenever you get critical strikes on your lucky hits. So with Landslide, if you've got guaranteed critical, and you just need to proc the lucky hit there, so that's like, I mean, it's kind of low, but with the amount of landslides you spawn, you can get this pretty, like you can have pretty good uptime on this, I would say. Alright, now you're here, you're masochistic, so critical strikes with shapeshifting skills have up to a 75% chance to heal you for 3% maximum life. This is great because this is a shapeshifting skill because of the helmet. And then Calm Before the Storm, nature magic skills. This is also a nature magic skill, by the way. Have a 10% chance to reduce the cooldown of your ultimate skill by 2 seconds. So Lucky Hit is a pretty important part of this build. You are just going to basically spam landslides and poison creepers to just get a lot of cooldowns on your skills, and then you just spam you continuously spam them here. Let's talk about gear. So uniques are these two. To be frank, getting these two is pretty easy. I think if you do enough Hell Tides and you do Nightmare Dungeons, it's only been like 2 days worth of play, around there or less. So you just have to persist, yeah. I think the rest of the gear doesn't really matter so much in terms of rolls. You could definitely use Sacreds. In my case, I didn't really bother because the aspects matter more than I think Sacred gear, so I kind of just really didn't bother about it. In this case, the aspect here is Poison Creepers. This is new. This is new for this season. Poison Creepers active also cast Landslide in a circle around you, so this will basically gives you insane clear. You Poison Creeper and everything around you gets entangled and poisoned, and then there is a Landslide that this spawns that basically just one-shots everything. So this is really good for bosses like elites, killing elite packs, killing large groups of mobs, etc. Yeah. then you go for a shapeshifting skill. I mean, I personally find this as the best, mainly because I feel that this gives me good recovery. I think recovery is an issue for Druid in general. Uh, Even with the Spirit Boon that gives you percentage life. So in this case, if you use a shapeshifting skill that changes your form, because this is a nature magic, no shapeshifting, you basically go back to being a human, but when you use Landslide, you go back to being a bear, right? So you alternate between these two, which means you will always be constantly shapeshifting. This gives you 113 life every time you repeat this, right? So this is a pretty good amount of heal, also a pretty good amount of fortify, and that's the reason why I've gone for that. I don't think the armor one is that good anymore, just saying, because 30% armor feels kind of meh, to be frank. So that's the only reason why I'm not using it. But you know, if you feel more comfortable with that, please go ahead. In this case, I'm going for the when you have fortify, your earth skills gain +2 ranks. This is give you even more levels on your earth skills, like landslide. Your core skills do up to 26% damage based on the amount of fortify. Obviously, you're almost always going to be like nearly full fortify. So yeah, this is really good. Earth skills deal more critical strike damage to crowd control enemies. Obviously, when you use Poison Creeper, they are going to be crowd control because of Immobilize. So this is really good. Also, Petrify does stun them. So, or this also gives you like crowd control for this. If you look at the what's it called? Was it Malignant Heart? Sorry, yeah, Malignant Heart. I'm testing this right now. Personally, I don't think this. I'm not sure if this is good. So far, I've been trying it, and it seems pretty nice. So that's why I've been. That's why it's there. But previously, I was using the extra wolf one. I don't think that was really good at all. But you know, whatever, right? Yeah. You notice like for my amulet's kind of nice, but if you look at like my rings, they're just like really low level rings, right? I didn't bother upgrading them. As long as I get a good aspect on them, that's all I care about. So in this case, Landslide's Earth Pillars each strike a second time and deal additional damage per hit. The reason why you go for this is because you know when you do, see, you do one circle, it does another circle, right? So you hit twice. This basically just doubles your damage on Landslide, so this makes it really, really nice. Then also this one, casting a Storm Seal grants your Earth skills more critical strike damage for 4 seconds. You're always going to cast a Storm Skill, which is this one, and then this is your Earth skill. Yeah, and yeah, you get critical strike chance on your Storm skills as well, so that helps with dealing with cooldown resets, because it has, with the more crit strike chance, I'll show you with the skill build, Nature's, I don't know, Fury, I think, you're going to be casting Storm skills as well, pretty consistently. Alright, yeah, in this case, core skills deal additional damage for each active companion. This is just something I decided on the fly. I'm not sure if I want to keep this, but this is 1 companion, this is 3 companions, and this is 2 companions. So that's a total of 6 companions, and this is a total of maybe like 42% more damage. So that's the reason why I've gone for this, but I don't know, you might not like these skill setups, so may not be as useful. Yeah, let's go to the skill build. Let's not really care Paragon too much. I'm only like level 57, so there is some Paragon points, but not much of note, right? It's just, I'm just pathing right now to get stuff. So let's talk about skills. Yeah, so you definitely want Storm Strike, because it's like probably the best generator for Druid. Enhanced Storm Strike, because it gives you more sources of Immobilize. More sources of Immobilize means you have more chances of getting Terror Modes. Vulnerable, 50% vulnerable is a very good vulnerable uptime on single target, so this is like super nice as well. Then you path here, you want okay, the only reason why I'm getting these is because of Nature's Fury. I'm pretty sure when I proc these, this will be the ones, like, you'll proc those with actually with the points. So I wanted another source of Immobilize for more Terror Modes, and also wanted a larger Storm size, I guess. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe it's not worth getting. Anyway, just for now, I can remove this and go somewhere else. Wild Impulses cost more spirit, but deals more damage. This is nice. 5% per point is actually pretty nice. And then this basic skills generate 12% more spirit. You know, when you cast Storm Strike and it procs Earth Spike, because this is due to Nature's Fury, you actually get the spirit from both, so this helps, quite a bit. Landslide, obviously, you want to go Enhanced Landslide, and then you want to go Primal Landslide, for the Terra modes. A path here as well, you gain 9% damage reduction while in Weird Bear form, and this bonus persists 3 seconds after leaving Weird Bear form. Okay, the reason why you're getting this is pretty straightforward. Why am I clicking all the wrong buttons? The only reason why you're getting this is if you have Vasilis, you're going to have Weird Bear form whenever you cast Landslide, because it's an Earth skill. So, yeah. This is pretty good damage reduction. And you path here. Actually, you get nothing here, by the way. So later on, probably I will look for builds that utilize Bulwark. But right now, I'm like, I don't really need it, so I don't quite care about it. So companion skills, Wolves, Poison Creeper, and Ravens. I might drop Wolves and Ravens eventually and get something else. But yeah, for now, this is what it is. You go to here, you're mostly getting these three. Crushing Earth. Earth skills deal increased damage to slow, stun, immobilize, or knock back enemies. Yeah. And then Critical Strikes with Earth skills fortify you for 7% base life. This gives you a pretty consistent fortify. So it's pretty nice. Fortify over 50% of your maximum life. Your Earth skills deal 12% more damage, so this is also pretty nice. You're always going to have this up. The path here, poison enemies, slow, kind of meh, not important. But this, you and your companions gain 30% bonus critical strike damage against poison enemies. I'm not sure if this is useful. I might actually remove this. It's only up when I have Poison Creeper, so that is maybe not so nice. Anyway, the path here, you're getting Petrify, you're getting Prime Petrify, and then you're getting Supreme Petrify. 1 point in Defiance, 1 point here just for more life generation, more recovery, Resonance, so Nature's magic skills do 6% increased damage. Triple this bonus if an Earth skill is the next skill cast after a Storm skill, or a Storm skill is the next skill cast after an Earth skill. This is like really good as long as you're rotating between these two, so you get quite a bit of damage bonus. When a shapeshifting skill transforms into a different form, it deals 15% increased damage. That's also really good because you're going to use Storm Strike and then Landslide, and using both together gives you 15% more damage. And then also you have a 12% damage reduction because you shapeshift, right? Okay, Nature's Fury is like super cool. Nature's Fury is cool for the sole reason that when you use Nature's Fury, you basically, on these two skills, you're going to be able to proc the alternative, the other Earth skill. So in this case, if I use Storm Strike, I'm going to proc Earth Spike with that Nature's Fury. And if I use Landslide, I'm going to proc Lightning Storm as well as Tornado. Okay, this is the interesting thing as well. Lightning Storm and Tornado and Earth Spike all have lucky hit chance, right? So it does help. I would suppose that their lucky hit chance is retained. So whenever Nature's Moon procs them, the lucky hit chance allows me to proc this as well, right? So I can, like, for example, cast Poison Creeper, and the Poison Creeper spawns a Landslide. The Landslide triggers Nature's Fury. Nature's Fury triggers one of these spells, and all of them have a lucky hit, right? So that's what I would assume is happening. So it's giving me a pretty decent uptime on this particular skill, Poison Creeper. So yeah, right now I hit for like about, at the low end, about 30k, and then if I get all the conditionals up, it goes up to 98, which makes it like really good damage for this level at the moment. I'm probably going to push to World Tier 4 today, and then I will probably provide other updates as I continue progressing this build. I definitely want to try out Trample, Trample Landslide. I already have a couple of aspects for that. Just want to see how it works out and whether or not it's good. Alright, peace. I will continue to play Druid. I'll probably only be playing Druid for the entirety of Season 1. And when I'm done, yeah, I'll probably like play some other game, because Baldur's Gate is coming out, and PoE next season is coming out as well. Or next league is coming out as well. So yeah. Alright, peace. Bye.